what time is it? Your show. Yeah, what time is it? Your show. Yeah, what time is it? Your show. Yeah, he's back from the dead. Your show. Putting it on the map, yeah. Saskatoon. Right next to New York. New York. Yeah, what show, yeah. Your show. What time is it? Your show. Yeah, time to talk some shit, yeah. Your show.
You've tuned in, yeah?
Yeah, fun Maggie. Bark, bark, wolf, wolf, move on to treat, yeah. Keep listening.
Hello and welcome into the Friday edition of Your Show. Still, as far as we know, the only live show that joins you Monday to Friday, 4 to 5 p.m. here on YouTube. Basically, just like growing up when you were a kid and you got home from school, this was the show that you went home and watched on network TV because we are a network. We're not a channel or a podcast. We are exactly what you are looking for, and we're so damn grateful to be able to share this time with you each and every day. Still your busty host, Gary, here, still very overweight and not proud of it, hence the bustiness. And we still like to make up terms. We are number one in as far as categories go on YouTube, and today we're the number one show on YouTube that has background noises of garbage cans moving through the area. We're number one. We're number one. How cool would that be if all of a sudden you heard like Oscar the Grouch scream out, "Help me!" Or like someone, like a puppet in a dumpster, and then we went and saved him and brought him in here? That's possible because we're live. Anytime you're live, things like that can happen, and that's what makes it special, okay? And this show is also very special because it stars the most beautiful actress in the history of actresses. She's so much so, she's even got her own camera. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Maggie Cam. Look at her go today. What a beautiful princess. The Maggie Cam. For our best pals over at Pet Planet on 8th Street, your pet's natural grocer. When you walk through those doors, your day always changes for the better. Mostly due to Margaret's boyfriend, Leroy, who greets you right at the door, walks you up to the counter, where you will say hi to Mike or Rochelle, and then you'll have the greatest experience of your life. You can also go there after hours or on weekends to see Kirsten, Shar, or Chris, and they will also give you that incredible service that you've come to know and love, and I can vouch for this. Today, this morning, I had a friend go through there and use the cleaning station, and by God, she could not believe how incredible the cleaning station was. Not just the price, but the ability, because she has a very active dog, and to put the harness on the dog so you can do all the cleaning, it's all right there. They got the drying system, the soap, everything. That cleaning station is second to none. So head on over and say hello to everyone there and try out the cleaning station. I promise you it will be the best experience of your pet life, thanks to our friends over at Pet Planet on 8th Street, your pet's natural grocer. Well done, Maggie, as she drifts off to sleep. Man, this guy beside me, he must be a wrestler or something. He's so agile. The way he moves and keeps himself in the shadows, in the secrets of the set, if you will. We are joined on this round table today by two members of this family. They also just so happen to have another network that they started way before us, and that same network is the one we based a lot of this stuff on here, and so damn proud to have these guys be a part of the family. We're going to introduce them one at a time, though, because this is going to be pretty fun. Ladies and gentlemen, the first person on the round table is Uncle Brando.
Yay, me. That's me.
That's pretty good.
That's
pretty
me.
good.
I'm here. I'm good. This is exciting.
And the other half of the Commander Cookout podcast. Give it up or go real mild for Network Ryan.
Boo.
Hey, that was slick.
Yeah,
That was
the
slick.
Collinsworth slide, it's called in the industry.
What?
That's what
a
it's
football
called.
thing. Chris Collinsworth on Sunday Night Football. Is it Sunday night or Monday night?
Sunday night.
Sunday night.
Yeah.
Sunday Night Football. They always start with, was it Joe Buck? No, it's Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. Collinsworth is with, it's Joe Buck.
He used to be with Al Michaels, right?
Yeah.
And then Al Michaels moved over to ABC or something, and
story.
now Chris Collinsworth is with
Come on now.
somebody else, and he doesn't do the Collinsworth slide anymore. So people of the younger generation, like
They
Uncle
miss it.
Brando,
Yeah.
who
Wouldn't
is so far behind, he thinks he's young again.
Yeah.
Because he's so old.
Correct.
Don't know about the Collinsworth slide in the broadcasting business.
There you go.
Producer Gary.
I don't
Well
understand.
said.
So what does he do?
He literally slides right like that.
He does
into the
this. Let me
screen,
demo.
so-
Let me demo again.
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
here you go.
okay,
So
okay.
We're talking, and then he comes in like that in
Just
his
like
chair.
that.
He just
Oh.
slides in
Yeah.
his chair, and he's like, hey.
Oh.
It's
Mike
not
Tirico.
something that you
Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth, and it's
It's
Joe
not
Buck
something
and Troy
that you
Aikman,
see
yeah.
in like regular broadcasting network. Like Oprah doesn't slide in, right?
She
You know what I
probably
mean?
could.
He probably slides into a lot of DMs.
I'll bet you Ellen wouldn't have gotten so much trouble if she did the penguin belly slide onto the stage. They're doing that stupid dance.
She probably would have. Probably. I'm just gonna put that one out.
yeah,
there.
I think either way, I'm just, so unimpressed with those two women.
Oprah
wanna put that out
and
there.
Ellen.
Yeah.
Well, hey, we started talking about sports, and I think that out of the three of us, you guys both have some very opinionated views on what went down over the last few days.
In sports?
Yes.
What happened in sports in the last few days, guys?
Little hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game. Remember that
It's the worst game we can name.
In
If
Canada.
you're Canadian, yeah.
Being a little hard on the boys. So we're just going to jump right into this.
Hey,
Uncle
I
Brando.
want to go on the record before we even start
I like that.
by saying I don't want to be hard on
It's not the kids, man. It's not the kids.
It isn't the kids.
not the
They
kids.
haven't learned how to be professional level hockey players on a world stage yet, and I don't care if they've already been on the world stage as World Juniors players in the past.
Yeah.
They're not professional athletes, and there needs to be accountability elsewhere in the organization. If we're using the same coaching staff or extracurricular staff or system to build players in the country, if there's better systems over the last few years that have worked or that are better than Canada's now, maybe Canada needs to take a look outside of itself instead of having everybody say, what do we need to do to beat Canada? It's their turn to respond.
Is this how we justify the Leafs not making the playoffs again? Now is that how we do? Is
No,
this how we do
that's a
that?
couple months still.
Is
We'll
this a
get into
different
that in
thing?
about
Yes.
3 months. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's,
But also yes, because
Oh.
they have some of the best players in the world, and hey,
Here they are again.
Brando,
Anyways.
I'm going to take you back to last year.
Okay.
Canada at the World Juniors. It was over in Sweden, I believe. Canada shows up, does their thing, get in the quarterfinal, got a nice, easy little match against Czechia, and Canada lost. Don't worry, though. It's only one little blip. Next year, we'll get back into it. We'll get back at it. Canada comes in this year.
We'll get 'em
in
next year,
Ottawa.
boys.
And for the first time ever, Canada losing in the quarterfinal in back-to-back years.
Who did they lose to this time?
Czechia.
What?
Again.
Yes.
What?
And it wasn't just a loss, it was a loss in magnificent fashion.
Oh.
This team, I had everyone on a roller coaster. Like, I watched the whole game. And besides all, like, man, you want to talk about knee strikes. I don't know what it is, but there was damn near 3 or 4 knees in this game, like kneeing penalties.
Oh, not like funny jokes?
No, not knee slappers. No,
Oh.
these are knee, like, cappers.
Damn it.
Or knee, like, straight up knee to wiener hits.
Like
knee
Kenny
to
Omega
knee hits.
style.
Exactly.
The old V trigger.
V-trigger indeed. You know what I'm saying? The
Yeah.
cleaner? Yeah. Shout out to Kenny Omega.
That
big
sounded like the
turn.
Terminator theme song.
Exactly what it is.
That's
Yeah,
what that is.
yeah, okay,
So
okay.
cool. And then when you get the whole crowd doing it, it's awesome. Kenny
Yes.
Omega, best in the world.
Yes.
So these guys, they put on one hell of a game. They get scored on early. They come back, score a shorty. Then they go back, score on themselves on killing a 5-minute power play that was for one of those knees, a 5-minute in the game. That was, and the worst part about this hockey game,
Hold on. 5 minute in a game turned into 5 minutes and the rest of your season?
literally, that's probably the worst.
entire
The second
year?
worst part of this whole thing is right after that penalty, instead of, and this goes back to what you said, Network Ryan, instead of being professionals and saying, okay, that happened, let's move on. Let's not care about that. And it's not even really on the team, but the fans and the players. The guy that took the penalty, or that was hit with the penalty, that was still in the game, not the guy that got kicked out. Every single time Sikora touched the puck after that, the entire crowd would boo. And boo hard, and boo angry, and they were bitter at this stupid penalty. Canada, Dickinson scores on himself trying to pass the puck out that way. It goes off here, it goes in an open net. Very bad stuff, but Canada still somehow digs deep and finds a way to tie it up within the last minute of the game. And then they get scored on and lose. Oof. Right after everyone's all pumped up. And you know why they got scored on and lost, Brando?
Tell me.
Another penalty.
Oh,
this team could not stay out of the penalty box.
They really couldn't, and that wasn't just specific to this game. It wasn't the reffing in this
the whole
game.
tournament.
It wasn't. It was the whole tournament. And again, I think you have to go back to how are we learning to play the game, and at this level, what are we doing that like in the preparation for this tournament, what are we doing that's putting us in the penalty box at such a high clip?
Yep.
Like, what is that thing?
The one other issue with all
Well, it
of
sounds
that,
like they're kneeing people in the face based on what Gary
not
said.
the face, wieners and thighs.
And knees.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
And well, it's
Oh my.
it's a penalty if you knee him in the face too. Well, let's just put
Wieners
that
and
out
thighs
there.
and knees, oh my.
Yes,
once
yes.
they stopped doing that, then they probably wouldn't go in the penalty box.
And
You're
here's
right.
the
Yeah.
bigger picture, and this is sort of after everyone's had a little bit of time to breathe and really assess what happened. This coach, man, Dave Cameron, I believe his name is, must have the biggest ego in the world. And I say that lovingly because if people like I can see this, and my friends that are on these group chats that we have, if we can all agree, and Mays was on yesterday, shout out to Coach, he was on yesterday talking about Cameron needs to adjust his lines. He needs to make changes. He needs, like his second power play unit was averaging about 30 seconds per power play. Well, PP1 was taking a minute and a half. And within that 30 seconds, they were more productive than the minute and a half that the first unit used. So as an outsider looking in, you can see power play 2 is playing better than power play 1. Switch them around. Give power play 2 more opportunities. But instead of doing that, Dave Cameron looks every single person in Canada and says, you have no idea what you're talking about. I'm the smartest guy in all of hockey, and I will continue to do this my way, and you shut your mouth. If jabronis like us can see, man, maybe just let these guys have a shot in that spot. Or on the penalty kill. Like, you can clearly see who the best players are. Instead, he's running out these guys that aren't doing a damn thing. And they're his guys. It comes down to, so Team Canada, the CHL has the QMACHL, the Quebec Major or Junior. They have the OHL, and they have the WHL. Okay? So those are your 3 leagues. 18 players on this team were from either the O or the Q, and the rest were made up of guys from the Dub. Those guys from the Dub were the best players there, and they played the least. So there is a lot of talk about how Canada as a whole, I mean like Hockey Canada, needs to sit down and say, let's get rid of this bias. Let's get rid of this idea that the OHL and the Quebec Junior League are better than the Dub. Because all these guys come from the OHL. They come from the Q. And
you're meaning to tell me.
Here he goes.
You're meaning to
getting it.
tell me
Yep.
that in Eastern and Central Canada and Western Canada, there is some kind of difference of opinion that puts people on opposite sides of a certain kind of argument? You mean it could potentially be the P word that we're not allowed to talk about on the damn network?
That's it.
Do you think it could be the P word, Uncle Brando?
Don't we?
My wiener has nothing to do with this. And I don't want it implied that I had anything to do with this travesty, okay? Listen.
That's fair.
Uncle Brando, PP1 right there.
See?
Get him off. Let's try PP2. It's got to be better, right? It's got to be better.
PP2, yeah.
The point is, we can all see this. We all know this, and we all know there's a bias. To the point where the great Colby Armstrong, who we love oh so much, going all the way back, Colby was on the fan zone with us numerous times for Colby's Corner.
I remember him.
Such a sweet dude. And he was tweeting. He says, so only 6 guys from the Dub this year, hey? And then there's video of the 6 guys destroying the tournament. It's like, oh, I guess we don't want more of those guys. Like, WHL guys are just built different. They're Western dudes, right? Well, obviously they're not all from here, but they play the game our way. And
It goes back to how are they being developed as players and what is the purpose of their development, right? And you could look at WHL players within the CHL that are funneled up to the NHL, or that same group of people that funnel up to competitive world play like the Olympics or World Juniors, and you can compare different hockey systems from different countries and say, what is the end goal for these guys? You think like all the players from Latvia, do you think it's their goal to all play in the NHL? No, it's not. So why would their system accommodate that kind of goal? Their system is designed to put players into the World Juniors or into wherever else you play for your country, like the Olympics, right? That's a different style of hockey than the NHL. And the NHL, and correct me if I'm wrong, literally anybody, the NHL is the end goal for anybody who plays in the CHL. And being the best people in the CHL, playing on the World Juniors, is kind of a given, and it's like punching your ticket to the NHL, right? It's kind of like a stepping stone or a rite of passage.
It's your first step to making a name for yourself. When you go in and you dominate in the World Juniors, like a McDavid or a Bedard or all these guys, everyone knows you're good, but they don't really know until you go in there and you perform on that world stage.
Yeah. Not everybody on a WHL or an OHL team is going to go to the NHL, right?
Yeah.
But probably everybody on Team Canada is going to go to the NHL.
I got a stat for you.
So if you're that much better like a Bedard or a McDavid, it just shows you, yeah, world, I am this good, right? And if you're not Bedard or McDavid, etc., like the best players in the world, like what are you doing? What's your system for? Is what I go back to. And Latvia's is to win the World Juniors. That's why they beat Canada. Canada's goal, I really don't think that the goal for every individual hockey player on Team Canada, I don't think it's their goal to win gold at this. And here's the hot take. Brando always tells me I don't have enough hot takes. The hot take is no player on Team Canada cares that much about winning World Juniors. Yeah, they want to. Yeah, they want to. But if you said, okay, you're going to play in the NHL for 10 years, you're going to go to the playoffs 8 times, and you might even win a Stanley Cup. Every single one of those players, every player I think ever on Team Canada World Juniors teams will say, yeah, I'll take NHL career 10 years every day.
Yeah.
And they don't care about winning the World Juniors. That doesn't mean they don't try hard, and it doesn't mean that they're not great hockey players.
I'm very nice hot take. I love that. I'm going to have to disagree with you because you see these kids after and you see the shame and you see them go online and apologize to a country and beg them to stop being so mean.
Yes.
Like it shows there's something, but at the same time, I do hear what you're saying.
They're not pro athletes, and our expectations as Canadians is that they win. Canada's the best hockey country in the world. Well, guess what? Hot take 2. It isn't.
But
obviously it isn't.
Here comes another little eraser for that hot take. Last year in the NHL draft, first round, 25 Canadians.
Yep.
25 people from our country were taken in the first round. Those are 25 first-round picks that you can put on your World Junior team. They left out 4 of those guys that were taken in the top 10. Sorry, we don't want the best players in hockey across our country at this time. We want to put together a team. We want 3 line 1 guys, and we want 3 line 2 guys, and we want 3 line 3 guys.
Yeah, and it goes back to what is the point of why those guys are on the team? Are they the best to play the kind of hockey that is World Juniors, or were they drafted top 25 in the league because they're the best? Yeah. Because they're the best guys to play in the NHL at that draft position, that's right? There's so much more to it. The thing that you said that I agree with and I dislike strongly when it happens is when coaches are too, whatever it is, pig-headed or stubborn or whatever, egotistical to say, hey, yeah, I think I made a mistake, or hey, I want to change this. Man, and it's just such a downfall. When did it happen? It happened in the NHL last year in the playoffs when the Jets got kicked out. And their former head coach at this point said, wow, we had players on the ice that couldn't score during power plays and guys weren't hustling and da-da-da-da-da. Whose responsibility is that to put guys on the ice that are going to be the hardest working players? Whose responsibility is it to prepare the players adequately? Whose responsibility is it to motivate and to drive the players? The coaches, the coaching staff. The players are all there because they're the best. They're drafted or picked for Team Canada. It's not the players' fault.
Of course.
Especially not when they're 14, 15, 16, 17, right?
And that's what everyone's saying. And I'm pretty proud of our country for that everyone's acknowledging, hey, it's not the kids' fault, man. This isn't on them. This is on your coaching and the players that you chose.
Sorry, Uncle Brenda. We're just yelling back and forth.
I love this, though, because I'm now going to show you exactly why none of anything we just talked about for the first 18 minutes matters.
Oh.
None of it.
You couldn't have showed us that at the start?
No, I definitely learned a thing just now. Just check this out. If we want to win World Junior Hockey as a country, here's what we have to do. Given that the tournament is populated with, as you say, 14 and 15-year-old kids, i.e. children, what we need to do is we need to stop taking stuff from the QJHPCL and the WH, whatever the fuck.
And we like the
And we need
WH.
to go
Yeah.
where the actual best players are in the NHL. And before you say they're not eligible for the tournament, based on all the penalties I've been hearing about, Canada doesn't mind cheating. So what we need to do is get some NHLers up here, and we need to show these kids who's boss on a world stage immediately. Because what's going on
shave
right
their
now?
beards.
Shave the beards. Have you seen some of the ridiculous facial hair on some of these kids? That's the only thing that I've seen of the World Junior team is their stupid little mustaches. Like they're trying so hard to look, they got playoff beards and shit, but their stuff looks worse than mine. I haven't shaved in 3 weeks. Look at me. And I look way more macho than every single player on Team Canada. You're chuds and you're soft.
Well, you're also you're
WFT.
Soft. And
you're also like 216.
That's
you're
right.
200 years older than these
This
kids.
is the under 20 tournament, so it's U20. So anyone under 20.
Yeah.
have you guys not been
So we shouldn't say 14.
Brando,
No, we cheat.
you're not. I see what you're saying.
That's
but
what I'm saying, is we cheat so
Here's-
that we can win, because that's what matters.
You're not going to believe this.
What's
at all.
okay? What's he got? What's he got, Uncle Brando?
This right here is exactly what you're talking
It
about.
looks like a text.
If this was a true World Junior Championship, and if they put a true lineup out there, here is what it could have looked like. Celebrini, Bedard, and Benson as your line one. That could be a line one in
Ooh,
the
Bedard, he's
NHL.
pretty good.
I heard
Last
one of
time I-
those names.
Celebrini also
Celebrini's very good. Yeah.
Nadjau, Yager, and Wood. McKenna, Catton, Senecki, and Cristall, Ritchie, and Cowan. That could be your top four. The problem with that is a bunch of those guys are in the NHL.
Yes, and when you play in the NHL, you can't you're not backwards compatible, right?
Oh, no, you can go.
And
You can
is
go.
it the
Teams
player?
don't want to. It's
Is
up
it
to
the
the team.
player or is
Up
it
to
up
the
to the
team.
team?
The team
Yeah,
doesn't want to lose
exactly.
their
Why,
best players.
why would the Blackhawks want to lose their best player for 2 weeks?
This is it.
Or longer.
This is the problem. So Canada isn't really sending out their true Team Canada. And that's the fallback that everyone's been sleeping on for so long, because it's always been that way. There's always been guys in the show that could be eligible to play at the World Juniors, but their teams won't let them. So we sit here and we argue and we say this and that, and we go back and forth about all this stuff, when in reality, you're not even putting your best team out there to begin with.
I don't
So
know
what
if
are we
I
even
like
getting
that
mad
though.
at?
You know what? I don't know if I like that either though. I think I just like getting mad
No,
because
not the people on the internet. Never.
yeah, I love hot
Do
takes.
it for clicks.
No, but you know what? It's like, okay, those guys aren't available. What if Bedard, blew his MCL? Knock on wood,
Yeah.
right? And he just wasn't available.
Yeah,
It's
that
no
guy.
difference. And nobody would say, wow, we would have won if we had Bedard.
Okay, but
right?
then put in Celebrini and put in all these other guys that are out there dominant, well, not dominating, but successfully playing in the NHL
At the
a very
next
high
level
clip.
up. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Guys that even two of them. If you just put Connor and Bedard and Mr. Celebrini out there, this wouldn't even be close. This would be a runaway.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. That's just two players.
That's just two players. They happen to be very good ones.
Yeah.
If you continue to do that and bump all of the non-NHLers out, at some point there's a crossover between the worst NHLer that you're taking because he's got a proven track record at that level. That guy might not be as good as the WHLer that's going to be in the NHL next year, where you're like, well, this guy's in the NHL. He's better. Obviously, he's better. He's been drafted already, right? Yeah. When really this guy over here is actually better. He's just not as old, right? So there is some crossover. So at a point, like the theory that you're using to select a team fails as you kind of go down, and it's probably a pretty drastic drop off. Like when you look at the top 5 best players on Team Canada or Team USA, because I'm sure that they pick teams in a similar way. Like the top 5 junior players that are in the tournament this week versus like the worst 5 NHL people that are also eligible.
Yeah.
I bet you there's not as big of a gap in skill or experience level as you think.
I think I just want to play the peacekeeper, as we always want to try to make the world a better place. Sleep well knowing that this wasn't really a true Team Canada and never really is, so you can't get that upset.
So no NHLers, no cheating. So they
And-
just didn't want it hard enough. Is
and
that
no-
what I'm hearing?
And no top 10 picks. Instead of, and this is all people want, and the problem is it's so easy to fix. It's so easy to figure out. Everybody wants a coach who will go out there and say, I want the best 26 players in this country. That's it.
Tanya Harding.
Nancy
I
Grace.
don't think she counts.
No? Okay.
If you do that, you will win. It's the way it's always been done. It's the way the Olympics are done. It's the way the Four Nations Cup is done. It's the way all of these things have always been done when Canada has succeeded. When coaches and managers start to think everything.
Did we
To
get an
the
F-bomb
point.
out of Gary?
Here's a halfer.
A halfer.
To a point when you're so in your own head that you can't realize maybe just putting the 5 best players in the world, or in Canada, sorry, on a line and then doing it again with another 5 and then another 5. Maybe if you don't realize there's more value to that than you thinking that, hey, this guy maybe isn't the best top 30 or 40, but my goodness, does he ever do well in this one tiny little itty bitty situation? And you start throwing those guys in. Then you start throwing in D-men who, hey, he's like number 3 guy on his team, but around here, he'll be the best number 2 guy on our defensive core. Like just tricking yourself into thinking that's smart rather than it's something that's going against you.
What do
Team
we,
Canada the last 2 years has done the opposite of what I just said, and this is what you get.
This is what we say a lot of the times when we talk, right? Horsepower wins races.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
if you're saying that speed, proven track record, experience at this highest level is the NHL, that to me is horsepower. And instead of horsepower, Team Canada is trying to finesse their way through with a smaller motor.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
At
And the
some
worst
point, you
part is
just
they
gotta pick
invented that
horsepower.
motor, so they think it's the greatest motor ever. You guys have no idea how good this motor is.
Yeah.
It's like we can see it. We saw it this year and last year. Like it's not a very good motor.
Yeah. Maybe not
something
just
else.
yet. Hey, maybe not yet. Remember the movie Moneyball?
Oh yeah.
Oh, hey, maybe just not yet.
Maybe.
Maybe just not yet.
Either way, Brando, what are your thoughts on all this before we put an end to this?
Have you seen the movie
Craziness.
Moneyball?
I have,
I
but
like
I've
that
also seen 2 other movies
Uh-oh.
that also are very applicable
Here
here.
we go.
Mighty
Take it away.
Ducks.
The Mighty Ducks 2
Okay.
and the Mighty Ducks 3. Because you see what they have done is they went from the horsepower Mighty Ducks, which was outscoring every other little chump on Earth, horsepower, in Mighty Ducks 2 in the Junior Goodwill games. No Canada in that. They probably would have lost there too. Oof. This team probably couldn't even have won there.
Dave Gaver is probably coaching them.
Versus Mighty Ducks season 3, or movie 3, if you will. Where they all,
College.
no, they go, was it high school?
That's college, man.
Is it college?
Yeah.
They go to some school anyway, and they have to learn how to play 2-way hockey, and they just get smoked every
College
time
way,
because they're so used to just winning by scoring more points. But this other goofball's like, nah, you have to win by not getting scored on. It's like, but coach, we beat them 27-2. Well, Charlie Conway, I'm going to need you to give your jersey to somebody that's less privileged than you and get him out there to jump in front of shots, block, screen the net, all the other things that
Role players
defensive
do.
role
Yeah.
players do.
Hockey stuff.
And then the ending game, they win by 1 goal.
Oh.
Like you want to talk about a huge drop. You go from literally taking out Gunnar Stahl in Iceland, like let's go shake their hands, like one of the
Right?
greatest finishes ever.
Yeah.
So the kids in college, they were like the junior team. We got to beat the senior team in college, man. Like get out of
It's
here.
like, come on,
You ruined the franchise. Sorry.
It was like at the end of Rocky 2, or Rocky 3, 4, where Ivan Drago goes up and him and Rocky are all bleeding, they're beat up and their eyeballs are all cut because they had to get the blood out of them. And he goes, to the end, because he like earned his respect. He earned the respect of a roided up, gassed up robot that they built for the sole purpose of killing Rocky Balboa with punches.
Yep.
And then when he couldn't do it, Rocky Balboa earned his respect. See?
Not just his respect,
Yeah.
the entire communist country of USSR.
Did you know that's why the Cold War ended, Ryan?
Rocky.
Rocky.
I know now.
Rocky 4, the documentary.
No one ever talks about it.
Rocky
Oh,
4.
oh,
They
oh,
should have
oh.
a viewing room on that. Probably,
Don't you mean the rockumentary?
Whoa.
Or is that with Dwayne the Rock Johnson?
No, that,
No,
I,
you know,
I like
think
what you
there
said
is-
better.
I think there is a rockumentary. There he is.
Spinal
Yeah, I've
Tap.
heard that
Oh,
before.
there.
That's legit. Yeah, that's a real.
I thought I was making a clever dad joke.
Well, you did.
You did.
Yeah,
No,
good.
but
'Cause I
somebody
didn't-
else already beat
I
me to the
didn't
punch.
know that either.
Somebody just got drafted before me because they're older than I am. And now I'm the one being blamed.
Oh, that's a great analogy, dude.
Can I tell you guys a fun hockey fact that I learned today?
This is what I was waiting. I thought. See, look at you. You had 2 things.
Yeah, see,
I thought that first thing was your thing. 'Cause
Oh,
you
I'd
crushed
love to
that.
have 2 things.
No, see, I was making fun of the stupid facial hair that they all had.
Yes, yes.
And then I learned a thing. Did you know that on the New York Islanders NHL team, from which they probably could have taken players and used them to win the World Juniors,
Most likely.
Hell yeah.
they're not allowed to grow facial hair.
That's the
because-
New York Yankees baseball team.
Also true.
Because they're like, nah, coach says can't have facial hair.
Oh, is that a
Can't do
New
that.
York thing?
Maybe.
That was at the World Juniors or the Islanders?
This is the Islanders. Can't
That's
have.
messed up. I'd never heard.
Yeah,
of
no playoff beards, none of that shit.
Is this from Jamie Nye himself, the mouth of sports?
This is from the mouth of sports at the thing. It's from his like co-host, but he's also reliable.
Locker. Shout out
He's
to the
al-
Locker. Yeah, we
he's
love
reliable.
Are you
man.
sure
Those
you're
guys.
not talking about the New York Yankees? Because the Yankees have that as well.
But because here's the ironic part. Because I live my life searching for irony wherever I can find it. The New York Islanders are the team that pioneered the playoff beard.
Ooh, full circle.
Yeah, so like
Just
they
like
invented it,
Pennywise.
and now they're not
Oh,
allowed
boy.
to have it.
So what do they do during playoffs?
I assume they just don't change their underwear. I think that's a playoff thing too, right?
I hope
You
not.
don't change
That's
your
just a
gotch for
sports
the
thing.
whole
No, that's a
playoffs.
sports thing. That's just feeling lucky.
Actually, when I was wrestling, I wore like 3 pairs of tattered shorts, and I didn't ever wash the bottom part. One, because they were the ones that covered my schmack, and they were in really bad shape, and I didn't want them to disintegrate. And 2, because of, superstition.
It's all superstition.
I wish I would have gone my whole life without knowing that.
Not me. I love that.
Yeah,
I love
I guess I don't mind.
superstitions.
I just didn't want to be the first to admit it.
Now that it's cool, yeah, okay. I guess
Yeah,
all right.
okay.
As long as I'm not getting ripped for it, pretty cool.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah.
Get behind that. Yeah. Man, you blew my mind there because it was definitely the Yankees. They did it to my sweet, beautiful Johnny Damon, one of my favorite players. Well, my favorite player.
They did
As
it
I told them, I
to
would say
Francisco Lindor recently. He had that huge ass beard.
Yeah.
And then they were like, oh, Francisco Lindor is probably not going to take the Yankees contract to shave his beard. He's like, yeah, they're
you see
paying,
the
they're
price
paying
on
me
that book?
$13
Yeah.
million this year. I'm shaving my beard.
They put another 0 on my check, so I shaved my beard off. Like, it makes sense.
that. Like AC/DC said, money talks, you guys.
Why aren't
We're halfway through the Friday edition. We got a roundtable. If you got anything you want help with or any ideas you want to get out there or any organizations that you think are doing really good things, you want to start a show, you want to advertise, all those things, it's real easy. Just hit us up at contact@dufferinav.com. And if that's too many letters or words or ats for you, it's real easy. You can head to our website. It's just dufferinav.com, and you can leave a message there as well, as that's how technology works. Which
Look
is what
at
I've
I'm
been
fondling
told.
the M.
Hey, get out of there. Hold on. I want to see, was it bad? Yeah, that's pretty bad. All right. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Whew, okay. Man, I feel better. I feel like I got that off my chest. I was so upset last night watching it because it's so simple. Again, simple mind, right? So everything's simple. But it's like, man, maybe you play the guys that are playing good.
No.
No.
Like when we're watching this, we can all see who's playing good. Okay? Get Molendyke out there more. Let's ask Bertha Cat and get him out there.
I thought it was off your chest. I had something that I actually wanted to ask you about.
Okay, well, open it back up. Put it back on.
No, not about hockey.
Okay.
About what you're doing today.
Oh.
I got here and you're like, it's too noisy, and you slam the door.
Oh,
and I'm like,
geez. Man,
how
it
did
got chaotic.
How did the audiobook recording go?
Very good.
Very good.
It was very, very good. And it's funny because I didn't really mean to slam the door. I was just trying to be quick. Because I was like, okay, I got this guy going on. It's too loud out here. I got to close. And then as I went to turn around, it just held on.
I have to quickly close this door, but not take into account how hard it's going to hit the jams when it closes fast like that.
I wasn't,
Slam.
as you can tell, and as is usually the case, I wasn't using my brain. In my head, I said, okay, it's going to be too noisy out here. I got to get this door closed, get back here because he's waiting for me to hit this next spot. So I just did it all at once. Like, "Arr!" Boom. And then I was like, ooh, that was really loud. And I sit down. and hit
I
record.
just walked in.
It's like, what's happening? And and I feel even worse because that booth, the tooth booth, shout out to Dr. Funkhauser, it's so soundproof that we can run the heater and we can have people yelling out here all we want and none of
Oh,
it comes through.
that's good
So
to
we
know.
learned that, exactly. But I was in there having this little mini, okay, I got to get this done before we get into starting the show and all this. So I was rushing myself and I'm doing all that stuff when I didn't even have to. I could just close the door when everyone got here and been like, all right, let's keep going.
He doubted me. He doubted us and our
Not only
building
that,
capability,
I
and
did
you
nothing.
doubted LB's electrical setup.
Yeah.
Man,
did
I thought
9
we had trust on this team.
9 chapters of book reading. Every single time in the freezing cold because I would turn off the big heater and I would use the little heater. I've learned so much. And a huge shout out to my main man, John Fast, and his absolutely incredible life-changing book that we were so excited to be getting out there. It's called You Can't Stop Love, and he is the most beautiful 69-year-old man I've ever met.
Nice.
That's what I
Oh yeah, that's a good one. I like that.
Yeah, and we're gonna his publicist said that he needs to get some content stuff done for promoting and all that. So I said, well, finally we can do something I'm good at, because clearly I don't know what I'm doing up there. But you get up here, we'll get you in here. We'll get
think
you
we
all
know
the
a guy.
content
Yeah,
we need.
cool.
Yeah. And he's honestly one of the funniest, most hilarious people I've ever met in my life.
Does he play Nintendo 64 Super Smash Bros?
No.
Oh, he probably won't fit in here then.
He was talking about coiled turds, though.
Yeah, he did have some good lines.
So
Like,
he
was
plays
pretty good.
NES.
you wait till you get to know him. Like, again, he comes in here to record for like an hour, and we end up hanging out for like 4 hours just talking about life and stuff. I told him he's like a free counselor for me. It's like, this is perfect. I don't got to pay nothing. Just talk to my man John. So the booth, better than we could have ever thought. And I'm so happy to say that. So, yeah, if you got a book, you want to get an audio version of your book?
LB,
Where
show
should
the
they
thing
go?
again.
That's not LB. That's L me, bro. Hit us
Oh.
up. Contact at dufferinave.com.
Wait, you're
if
doing
you
that?
are an
Yes.
author and you want your book read into a microphone.
Let me do something. Can I do something?
Yeah, man. Here.
Fondle that M.
Hit
Fondle that
one-
M.
Hit that one that says
Let me push a
website.
button.
Check that out. Boom.
Oh, man, that is so cool.
Dufferinave.com. That's the
We don't-
button that Uncle
we don't even need
Brando
brick.
just. Oh, we do. Trust
We
me.
don't even need Brookman
Trust
anymore,
me,
really.
We need our boys. We always need our boys. Don't touch any other ones though, because it's literally anything else will go and it'll go.
Oh, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, it's very cool though as we, try to take more and more off of the boys in there and bring it up here
I see.
and sort of keep doing. Oh, see, did I do that? I see he's being.
Oh,
funny.
yeah, see?
He's,
Yeah,
real
he's
funny.
I
He's
see
real
how it
funny,
is.
LB.
Yeah, forget
Jeez.
Man.
It's good because I have done that before. So I'm like, might have been me. I don't
See,
know.
when Ryan came in and Garrett was like, it's too loud, and he slammed the door. I came in just a little bit before you, and I walked and I gave my patented
"Hey, guys."
my patented greeting of "What's up, you bunch of fucks?" And Brookman and Brooklyn Brookman all look at me like, "What are you doing?" Shut up! I don't know. And then I got
He told him.
a door slam too, so I didn't know what was going on.
good.
I'm
Good.
glad that everything worked out, and I'm
Yes.
happy to. I'm
And
excited.
I
to
don't
read the
want
book.
anyone to think there was any sort of rage in there. It was way more panic.
Oh, no, there's rage.
There's a lot of panic. The
Panic.
rage is inside.
Panic
It's always
and-
there, but
oh,
the
yeah.
panic was
That's what I
was
mean.
like
It
operating,
only
yeah.
comes out around World Junior time. When our
Damn
team
you,
Yes,
Dave
it's-
Cameron. Damn
It's
you to
like
hell.
it's like Gary's full moon. Ooh, do not Google that.
There's probably some of that out there.
Yeah. Yeah. What else is on the docket? What else are we having a roundtable about
How
today?
the hell did we spend this much time on a sport?
Because you were angry.
I was. Thanks, guys, for letting me
What
get
else
out.
did you have on your list?
I have a thing I wanted to run by you guys
My
if
man.
that's all right.
Live on the
1000%.
internet?
Live on the internet.
I don't know what that rash is on your arm.
Oh.
I do.
Oh. Both of these things are
Quote
horrible.
The Rock. You're welcome.
Man, that's my favorite rock song. He used to sing all those songs. What can I say except you're welcome? Man, it's so good. And he sings all the ones of Pie and how all. Anyway.
So true. That's
Anyway.
Wrestling Rock he's talking about, by the way.
Correct.
Yeah.
Have you ever played a game or watched a movie or experienced anything that was kind of at peak that thing, and then you go back to try and appreciate something that came before it, and you hit the mark somewhere in the middle where it's started to become what the pinnacle is, except shitty?
You're going to have to do a lot
Examples,
better
yes.
than that.
I would love an example, please.
I'm playing Persona 3.
I understand what you mean.
Here's the example, like the real world example that got me thinking.
No,
about
but
this.
not for you because we're not going to get it. Like,
No,
what's
just want an
what's
example?
the thing?
Just hit me with the example.
Okay.
I'm playing a video game that's at the last of a long running series that's run since the mid 90s.
Okay.
Okay. Persona 5. Everybody's like super into them. They're like very highly rated. The graphics are great. The combat system, the players, the characters, all the things that you do. There's like a daily life section. It's really fun.
Sure.
Lots going on there. Persona 3 has recently been released, and it's like the same gimmick, same aesthetic, same everything, but instead of bringing the nuts and bolts and the actual story and content of the game up to the level of its appearance, they just left all the shit from the first game in it. So essentially, you spend 2 hours walking the dog, then somebody gets shot, then you walk up a tower for 2 hours, and then you get bored and go to sleep. And I'm curious, like, when long-running series get to a point where they're universally renowned, and you could say that about anything, movies, music, video games, when people, like, why, instead of just moving the property forward, Why do you remake something that's clearly not as good?
Ooh, I see where
You know what I mean? Why do you go back and plumb the depths for like the thing that's like, this is close enough?
Yeah,
that we
excitement, Uncle Brando.
Is it-
Excitement.
do they do it because it's easy? Do they do it because
Yes.
it's easier to do that than
Yes.
adapt?
I'll give you the example that I think of.
Okay.
So you've heard of the franchise called Star Wars?
Yes.
Okay, so back in the 70s, they released these 3 movies, Star Wars movies.
Yes.
And then in the early 2000s, like 2000 and 2001, 2002, they released these 3 more movies.
Oh yeah.
And then most recently, they've released a whole bunch more Star Wars movies.
Yes.
And people say things like, "Oh, the original 3 are the best."
Correct.
And then and then you hear people say, they haven't aged well, but the old ones from the 2000s are better than the new ones.
Revenge of the Sith was pretty badass. Frankenstein, I watched it all
So
the time.
if you were to, and I think this is what you mean, I think if you were to watch all of the Star Wars movies chronologically in story order, like Episode 1, Episode 2, Episode 3, A New Hope, and then like Episode 5 is The Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, and then all the new ones,
Yep.
like you would say, oh, this hit peak around movie 4 or 5, and then it went back downhill, not because number 6 was bad, but because all of the new Disney ones are not very loved. Oh,
Tooth Pooh's hot
thank
today.
you, Tooth
Yes.
Booth. Is that what you mean? Except instead of hitting a pinnacle, like number 5 was the best one ever, it's number 5 is the worst one ever. It's an upside down pyramid.
Yes.
Is that what you mean?
Yes. Where they just like they've reached a point where they can reach so many people, and then instead of showcasing something that's better, they went back and found like the least quality. Let's say they're gonna remaster. They're gonna I hate Brookman's gonna hate this. They're gonna remake the original 6 Star Wars movies.
Ooh.
They're gonna remake them. Do you want to go back and start with number 2? And show people that long scene in the legislature where they all sit around and talk
So
about
many
what they're going to do,
politics.
and then they
Yeah,
blow
yeah,
up.
yeah.
Is that the one they're going to redo, or are they going to go back?
Democracy dies to thunderous applause. Like, shut up, Padme. Jeez.
Perfect. Or are they going to go back and redo number 4? And the answer is they're going to go back and do number 4 because they did that with number 7.
Woo!
Ooh.
Right?
There it is.
Is that the Uncle
the hot
Brando
take.
hot take?
That's
of the
the
day?
Uncle
I
Brando.
like
Yeah,
that one.
yeah,
But
yeah.
it's
You're not wrong.
It just it bugs me.
Oh,
Star Wars just got progressively worse in terms of the shooting order.
Oh.
Shooting order.
Stories are back, like, they jump
I don't think anybody on the air can hear you.
yeah, okay.
Awesome television, boys.
Hey, you can usually hear. He knows to talk to the mic if it's a big long thing, but he's want to get his point out.
yeah,
That's a good
yeah,
thing.
I get it.
See,
you
what I heard from all that was remaking Persona 3.
Yeah.
Instead of, hey, maybe we can do a Persona 6. You know who's horrible for that shit too? Borderlands.
Yeah.
Borderlands.
No, you know who's
goes
the
out and they
worst for it?
They literally have a game called the pre-sequel.
Yep. Just to avoid
Just in the
doing
middle of
it the
everything,
next
just to
one.
avoid to do the next one
Yeah.
and then they wait like 5 years. Like it's just, yeah. Sorry, You, go ahead.
I was gonna go further along on the Star Wars example and say Disney's the worst for it because they
Yeah.
take all of their best movies, like The Lion King and Aladdin and whatever your favorite Disney movies from the 60s to the 90s were. Let's take that and let's remake it, but live action. Why don't they take underappreciated movies like Treasure Planet or like Atlantis,
Yeah,
those early 2000s North American animation style, and remake those live action, because those were great movies, but they were just not very popular because at the exact same time Pixar was making movies and DreamWorks was making movies, and those cartoons got kind of left by the wayside.
They did it.
no more remakes. Just make new movies.
Just make new movies.
Crap, are you joking?
No, but that costs work and money and time, and it's harder.
It's a risk.
Don't get me started on
It's a risk.
music,
Hey,
too.
yeah.
Hey, guys, I don't know if you noticed this or not, but musicians, it's the same shit. The cool thing to do is redo an old song, remake an old song instead of writing your own. All these bands that come out, hey, here's my cover of Sweet Caroline. Hey, here's my cover of Name Your Big Famous Popular Song, because you know why? People will listen to it at least once because they love that song. Let's hear how it sounds done by these people.
Or let's
Instead of
mash
being
up Britney
creative.
Spears and Elton John, your two favorite artists.
True.
Yeah. You love that song, I know you
I
do.
love Toxic, I'll tell you that.
Oh, not what I was talking about, but
Yeah. I don't know the one that they did, but I know they did one together. I remember that very, very clearly. I think the big answer to everything is always money.
Yeah, it is.
They sit down in their giant meetings, and after they're done pleasuring all the people in the circle, they say, okay, how can we make the most money now?
how do
They
I
say,
get
"Let's do
pleasured with
this."
money?
No, not with the money. Like
Oh.
them on each other. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to be very PC in how I talk about what goes on during these meetings. The point of it all is they have someone who says this will make us the most money. Case closed.
Yeah,
Nothing else
yes,
matters.
yes. Hey,
And until we can change that, you guys, it's all going to be the same old shit.
I've
over
got something.
And over again.
I got something. I got
Prove it.
something.
Prove it.
Maybe to be an Uncle Brando recommendation.
Oh boy.
Not a hot take. Okay. Tonight,
Butt boy.
definitely not.
It's a real movie.
It is a real movie. I think that I am going to start watching the Fallout series tonight. Have you seen it?
Yes, I have.
Is
I
it
have
as
not.
good as everybody said it was?
Yes.
It is?
I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Would you say it is the, and this is a big one, would you say that it's the best video game adaptation ever? And I'm going to include TV series
Yeah, Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
and movies
Oh dang.
when I say adaptation.
Wide open.
I would say for general consumption, yes.
For general consumption,
you
like
just-
I don't need to know anything about it, and I can just go in and enjoy it
You don't
without
need-
knowing all the in-bull
No,
stuff.
you don't need to know nothing. They explain everything just fine, and then it's essentially just a cool post-apocalyptic survival show.
Yeah.
That has a bunch of nods and fan service to a video
Okay,
game
yeah. So there's
franchise. That's
fan
really cool.
services. I don't need to get them.
Yeah.
Is any of it dumbed down, or any of like the core themes missed because I don't know what they are?
Absolutely not.
No.
Nope, they do a
Oh,
great job.
good.
It's a great show.
And
It's a fantastic show. Yes.
The reason he can say that too is Fallout is one of those franchises that a guy like me who just loves creatively told games and franchises. And the Fallout from Fallout 1 all the way up to Fallout 4 and like New Vegas and then all the other stuff. Like I am so intrigued by these things. I don't play the games. I never played the games. I would watch my old roommate Mitch, shout out to Mitch. I'd sit down and watch him play all of them.
You enjoy the story.
Exactly.
Oh.
So this game was so good, I never wanted to play it. All I wanted to do was watch him play it. And then it got to the point where I watch other people play it on Twitch and on YouTube. And if I'm so intrigued by the stories that they suck me in that way, this thing should blow my mind.
Oh.
So I've sort of been waiting for it.
You want to
but-
come over?
Well, hey, the problem with that is it's going to make me want to start playing the game. And that's sort of why I've
No.
been trying to stay away from
The
it.
real reason? Well, no. The problem is you'd have to leave the house.
Oh.
Agoraphobia. It's a very real thing that I'm learning all about.
Okay, I got another one.
It won't make you want to play the game.
Well,
Nope.
then I guess-
It's a
good.
perfectly contained little story in a world that it's very good.
Okay,
it's so
good.
cool. The whole point of Fallout is the apocalypse, nukes fall, now what? They
And
got all
that's
these
already a
vaults and
genre.
everything's
Like you don't
corrupt.
even need a
Oh, yeah.
game for
Yeah,
that,
it's very
right? That's
cool.
already a genre.
The games
War,
are so
post-apocalyptic.
incredibly huge, though, that you can
Corruption.
do it all so many different ways. Like
Yeah.
it's just Bethesda,
Cool.
right? Bethesda, yeah.
Bethesda.
Okay.
I'm excited. Rebecca was like, I wanted to watch, and you wanted to watch, and
Yeah,
blah,
you
blah,
guys are
blah.
gonna love it.
Okay,
You're
so
gonna- you're
second
gonna
one.
like it.
Second one, and I don't know if you've seen this one. It was on Paramount Plus. The Halo adaptation lasted 2 seasons, which Fallout hasn't gotten there yet because it's too new, but it has been renewed for season 2. The Halo adaptation. Anybody seen that, including LB? No, nobody.
I saw 2 episodes of it. I'm not a big Halo fan.
Neither am I.
I'm not a big Halo fan, but I thought that the previews, and I watched the TV previews, and I watched like the long 3-minute YouTube preview. The show looked stunning. Like it looked fantastic. And usually, I mean, somebody who doesn't know anything about Halo, I only played it a little bit. I know what it's about, but like usually I can take something like that and say, this looks fantastic. It's probably got like a lot of love and attention in other areas that would also make it good, but it only lasted 2 seasons.
For my very limited experience with it, and using Fallout as a foil here, I feel they made Fallout out of a video game for people to watch a show, whereas Halo they made out of a video game kind of for the hardcore Halo fans. And then there's so
No.
many flashing, blinking, colorful things that other people will sit and watch it too. even though they don't get it. They built that to sell the game. They built Fallout to sell the show.
Ah,
Is
yes.
is how I see it.
Target audience.
Very good.
Yes.
Target
Very smart.
audience.
Yes.
Well, hey, I'm going to do the thing. Gary's going to hate it.
Oh.
Let us know in the comments. I'll read them.
Yep.
Dude.
Gary won't.
My favorite adaptation was the Super Mario Brothers Super Show. For the record,
Was that the cartoon one?
with Captain Lou Albano.
Mario, Super Mario, Super Mario.
Is that the one with the Goombas with the tiny heads?
It was the cart. It
No,
would go
that's the
between
movie.
live action and cartoons.
The Captain Lou Albano played Mario, and then
Oh.
some other guy who wasn't Captain Lou Albano was Luigi, and then they were in their house and they would like have a little adventure. Then there'd be a cartoon, or maybe the next Legend of Zelda.
Captain Ness. Was that his name? Who was the guy?
Captain N,
Captain N, and he had the
the
blast.
Game Master. And then Mega
good.
Man showed up, and Mega Man was such a punk in that game, though.
I think I'm the only one who likes the Mario with the huge
No, I
Goombas
love
with
that
the
movie.
tiny
dude,
heads.
No, we got it.
You are certainly not the only one.
Is
likes
that like a cult
sir.
movie that people actually like?
Oh man,
Is
well,
there
now
a,
they
is
do.
there a
That movie's
community
so
for that
good.
movie?
Oh yeah.
absolutely there is.
Okay, that makes
Yes,
me much
freaking
happier.
awesome.
I
much
freaking
happier.
love that.
There
movie.
wasn't for a long time, and then it sort of came back once everyone realized, oh wait, they're not trying to make like a masterpiece. They're just trying to get a Mario movie out there.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, I guess
Yeah.
I can see it. Live action Goombas.
And then
Yeah.
once you realize that
Goombas?
everybody involved in that movie hated it, that would be a good
Yeah.
viewing.
Everybody in the movie hated it.
Legit, like they were all on the record saying this is the worst experience of our lives.
Yeah, they interviewed
Oh, no.
like Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo were on record saying that they would just do shots of whiskey before
time.
every take.
Yeah.
Oh.
And you ask, like, again, Bob Hoskins did an interview right, like, kind of near the end of his life. It was like, so, like, do you have any regrets in your career?
Yep.
Super Mario. If
Oh,
you could
dude,
go back
that
and not
makes-
do one thing,
Oh.
Super Mario.
That makes me sad because it reminds me of Jean-Claude Van Damme just doing rails right beside frickin' Raul Julia, General M. Bison, who's dying of stomach cancer. And General
So
M.
Street Fighter,
Bison's
this guy, yeah.
performance in Street Fighter,
Yeah.
marvelous.
Yes,
So fantastic. Oh, man.
That's a great movie.
I think Raul Julia is the man that I envied the most as a kid because he was married to Morticia Adams.
Yeah, I was gonna say he was Gomez Adams and he was General M. Bison.
My man.
Come
That's a good
on.
run.
Didn't even know who he was. Like, I wanted to be him so bad, I didn't even know who he was. I just wanted to be that guy.
Yeah,
I want to be rich, and I want to be insane, and I want Christopher Lloyd to, like, be my brother who dies all the time,
Uncle
and I
Fester?
want to have a hot wife, and I want my
Morticia?
children to kill each other.
You
every
do have
morning.
a hand. You do have a hand. The Phenom is just a hand.
That's
Just
true.
like,
Yeah,
what's
yeah.
it? Not cousin, the thing. The
Yeah.
thing.
Or thing, I guess.
got
Thing,
one.
Thing.
just thing, capital
got
T
one.
thing.
How does he see? How does things see? Where's his
think he
hands?
does.
We've,
I
we've
think
done this.
He just knows.
I think it's just like heightened senses.
You
Yes.
think? It's like a
Yes,
echolocation.
it's like when you lose other senses, your other senses like start to take over.
You're way
he
bigger.
He doesn't have frickin' anything except touch, so he can like sense way more stuff.
Your way bigger question should be, how does he go to the bathroom? That's what I always wondered.
well, at the back.
What? Could he use it like as a rocket propellant, like squid?
No, you need the pressure from the water.
Yeah, air is not thick enough.
Yeah,
yeah,
it wouldn't work.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Before we get Frankie rolling here,
I had
guys-
one more
Yes,
question.
okay,
Oh, what is it?
I had one more question.
How did we
If-
talk for an hour already?
That's
This
what
is
I'm
crazy.
saying. For guys that had nothing to talk about.
If you had one franchise that you could make into a movie or a TV series for one season, then it's got to get like greenlit again for the next season. What is it?
Only
Like a video game franchise?
Anything. A book, a video game franchise, the 2025 World Juniors Hockey Team documentary. Like,
That's way too hard, man.
what's
that's
the thing?
Netflix syndrome, man. There's too many options. I can't wrap my head around it.
my old standby go-to always is Xenogears, the greatest video game in
And
the
there's-
history of video
there-
games.
There's
to-
no movie or
correct,
show?
to never be completed. It's not even like the game itself is barely done because it ran out of money halfway through. So it hasn't even really seen the light of day that it should have yet. But I'm gonna go to, like, what do I think everybody would like? I'm gonna say Armored Core.
I thought you were going to say Gears of War.
Nah, Gears of War and Halo are basically the same game.
They were like
Chainsaw.
movies inside the game while you're
Yeah.
playing.
Yeah.
It's like Armored Core's giant robots. It's like a really, really intense storyline about humanity abandoning Earth and trying to, like, fight over what's left to try and go and find somewhere else to live in the
That
universe.
gives me Warhammer 40K vibes.
And they finally do, and they just fuck it all up. It's really cool.
What about a live action Legend of Zelda movie?
I don't
Just
know.
because there's so much there. I'm trying to think of like really big franchises that you could benefit from like, okay, we got a lot to work with.
You want to see how to make nerds mad?
Here we go.
I think that The Legend of Zelda is one of the most paper thin video game franchises in history.
Whoa, Brando's hot take too.
There's a hot take for you. I think that Link is a
After-
shitty character, and every single game's storyline is exactly the same, just like Mario, except nobody hypes Mario for the storyline.
I'm with you. I'm with you after Ocarina of Time. Zelda 1, Zelda 2, Link to the Past, Ocarina. And I guess, what's the one I have on this one right here? It's like, what's the name of that one?
Link's
It's
Awakening.
called Link's Awakening. After that, garbage.
What was the story in Zelda 1?
Zelda
Without
1,
reading the manual, what does the game tell you? the
it's
storyline is?
dangerous outside.
Did I open up a
Take
can
this.
of worms?
No.
No,
Okay,
it's just
The
that.
entire
okay,
story is you got a guy named Link, and he's got to go save the princess.
But he might not be named Link because you get to name him. So he doesn't have a name. He doesn't have a voice.
Name
there
the
aren't any
soldier.
other characters in the game until you meet Princess Zelda, right? Like,
Well, there's that guy that goes grumble, grumble, and you got to give him some meat.
Right.
And they got the old wizards that
That
are all
sounds
giving
like Uncle
tips and
Brando.
stuff. Yeah.
Give this man a cheese and beef burrito and then look out.
yeah, and then watch me
Don't
be
walk
rocket
behind him.
powered. That's
I
what you
definitely know what you're saying. I hear what
Yeah,
you're
like
saying.
I just
and
think they're paper.
You're not
and-
wrong. Yeah.
And if you were to adapt it into a show, like, what's it going to be about? Is it going to be some guy that doesn't talk, walking into a cave,
This.
and taking people's money?
This would be insanity if we had Link's Awakening, just because of how that story goes and
Yeah.
all the craziness involved and all the crazy characters involved. That alone would make a great movie.
You know what I just thought of, and I swear this is my last thing I'm gonna say. Okay, give me the movie, like the spoof movie, where everything is wrong. Give me the spoof where you're playing as Link, but he's named Zelda, right?
Yes.
right. Give
Yeah.
me all the wrong stuff like
You want
that.
to talk about pissing off the hardcore?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
give me like the Enterprise, Starship Enterprise, but it's Star Wars.
Wars.
Like call it the Millennium Falcon. Like just give me the wrong
The
stuff.
Millennium Enterprise.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Millennium Enterprise, and
do that.
Chewbacca is getting beamed up, and
Chewbacca just gets owned in every fight, just like Worf in Star Trek. Right?
Spock's always saying, "I got a bad feeling about this."
yes,
Yeah, that'd
Yeah.
be pretty cool. All right.
yeah.
The final thing, before we get Frankie woken up and ready to play us out of here, today is officially, and if you know me at all, I go back very, very far in hating, despising international this day or that day, because in radio, that's like the biggest go-to for content. Hey, it's this day. Tell everyone, it's hot dog day. Tell everyone about your favorite condom. Hey, it's pie day. Tell everyone about your favorite pie. Like just the worst content you could ever make. But there's certain little days, like today, that make me think of other people. J.R.R. Tolkien Day.
Oh, yeah, it's his
Celebrating.
birthday.
There you go.
Yeah, January. What is it? 3rd today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you
He's
go.
the third.
And I
January
thought
3rd.
you might have something to say about that as we get ready to close it out.
1892, 1898.
You're the expert.
Something.
Don't look at me.
1890 something. He's old.
Hell yeah.
Can I say a thing too? Of
course.
Because it's the day. This is a week. It's like Firefighter Appreciation or Awareness Week, and this
Get outta
week,
here.
Okay, that's a good one though.
I
That's
think-
a good one. We
I-
can appreciate that one.
I think it was just in Saskatchewan. It might be national. It might just be in Saskatchewan. But there was a group that was pushing for firefighters to get their health coverage to cover when they get cancer, because firefighting is one of like the most carcinogenic things you can do. Like they get cancer at a super high rate, and they finally pushed it through in the government where their treatments and stuff will finally be covered by their like insurance on the job, which is a huge deal for people who work in that line of work and take risks to keep us safe, and then they get sick, and then we kind of tell them to pound sand, and that's not going to happen anymore for those people, and that's really cool. That's like the people out there. That's kind of a political thing, but that's
Dude,
the
P
world
word.
doing something good for people, and I think that's important to acknowledge. 'cause-
As
we go.
an
Yeah.
honorary firefighter, officially baptized by the fire hose, my oldest brother Davey is a
Don't Google
firefighter.
that.
One of my best friends, Matt Burr, was just over here a couple days ago, also a firefighter and cancer survivor.
There we go.
All of
Ah.
those people, and Protzi and all the boys, we got the Fire in the Kitchen cook-off coming up again here very soon, so I'll be seeing all the firefighters there again. All the boys, this is great news, and it makes me very, very happy. I love ending on a high note like that.
There
That's
you go.
very well done.
There we go.
Shout out to all of our firefighting brothers and sisters. If you ever get baptized, make sure you throw out your smokes before you get sprayed. All I did was I was taking off my gear, and we walk around from the front, and we were just finishing up, like going up on the ladder and all this stuff. And as I'm coming around the corner, there's all the boys say, hey, and I'm like, oh no, that's a hose. And they start hitting it. I do this one while I'm going. My brother Davey's in the back. I'm like, Davey, save the darts! And I threw him and I just went like this. And it just covered me. And I turned around and I was baptized. I became a member of the firefighting brethren. And I'm so damn proud of all those guys because you guys and I could never do what those people
Absolutely
do. It's
not.
unbelievable. So
No.
shout out to them. And it's about time we got some decent coverage for shitty shit that happens.
Yes.
All right. I think it's time for Frankie, my friend.
Let's get blasted. Finger
man.
blasted,
I
that is.
Frankie's fingers, officially. What a week it's been here. We did what? 2 shows? 3 shows. Hey, we went Monday, Thursday, Friday.
I'm really not ready to forgive and forget the holiday drinking and eating lifestyle.
Yeah.
I think I'm just gonna steady as she goes until next Christmas.
That sounds like
and
a resolution.
Just drink every day.
That's a great idea.
Treat yourself, man. Just treat yourself.
Yeah,
That's what it's all about.
with liquor.
There you go. Coach Mazer came by yesterday when we talked a little bit more about that GoFundMe page from my buddy Callum, as we replayed that pre-tape of my buddy Benny. Both of those guys from the Water Sliding Bros, a seasonal program that will be returning quite soon. To the author, I love how it's like the maestro from Seinfeld. It's like, oh, I prefer if you call me maestro. The author, I call him the author, John. I've spent every day except Christmas with that guy in here for hours recording this book, and we're finally doing the edits now, and it's so cool. I can't wait to introduce him to the network because he's one of the coolest dudes ever, and his stories and the storytelling that he does, it's
Prepare for a
second
4-hour
to
show.
none. Yeah, like literally. And it'll feel like 20 minutes. Like that's what happens. Like I sit there, we'll talk, and then I'll say, all right, let's get started. And literally 2.5 hours ago. He's like, what the hell? So he's like some sort of
Wizard.
a wizard. if you
Stop
will.
telling me this. Stop telling me this, Gary.
Hey, we gotta go. We'll be back on a Monday at 4 p.m. and we'll miss you oh so much until that time. And yeah, just remember, keep doing those good things, and they'll keep happening to you. And that's how we make this world a better place. Okay? We say it all the time. We scream it at the top of our lungs. But for the first about last month or two, it's really starting to feel like it's getting out there, and people are starting to understand what we're doing, and they want to help, and they want to do good too. So we want to keep that momentum going. Let us know if you got anything like that, and we'll get you in here, and we'll keep making a difference until eventually the agoraphobia leaves, and I'm not scared to walk out the house anymore. That's when we'll know we made it.
All right.
Maybe tomorrow,
Goals.
maybe a bunch of years later.
I'm smiling and nodding.
I'm going to ponder that this weekend. You stay safe, take care, and thank you so much for being a part of this. We'll talk to you on Monday. We love you.
Good night, everybody.
Woo, it's the weekend.